Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to be taking a detailed look at my entire Lego city. So it's been a while since I've done a complete overview, and since the last one, a ton of changes have been made. The Lego city can be split into a bunch of different sections. Right here we have the beach, and then the campground, and also the zoo. The farm and residential area. We've got some mountains and the entire raised platform that has quite a few medieval sets on it. The largest section is the downtown core, which extends up front here and also goes way back there. And last but not least is the amusement park. And we're going to start the overview over here by the beach. So I have put a ton of work into the beach because the water is no longer just like base plate. It is now multi-layered. So we've got the transparent blue tiles on top of the various colors of blue plate, which gives the water some nice depth. Then we've got a sailboat, the lighthouse, also the old fishing store, some nice rock work here, leading up to the cave. Some beautiful palm trees all throughout. And tons of stories happening on the beach with minifigures, such as volleyball, and also a fish market right back here. You want to do some surfing? You're more than welcome to do so because we've got a surf skate shop right there. And also a sandcastle tournament happening outside of that. You can pick up a hot dog as well, or interact with the lifeguards. And then a bunch of mini modular buildings. You can get some noodles, pick up some toys, maybe rent a bike, get some groceries, buy some candy from the candy store, go to the washroom if you need to. Just please no peeing in the ocean. And then we also have the Ferris wheel here as well. And that extends over here to the boardwalk. So the water is continuous, but it actually ends right there, but the water from the boardwalk goes underneath the Ferris wheel, through the beach, around the corner, through here, into the cave, and then through the creek, all the way through the campground to where it starts by the Ninjago Mountain. Got the temple on top of this mountain, and you can see there's a little reservoir of water going around the temple, and then there's a waterfall that comes down right here by the zoo, passes by the dojo temple and these little fishing shacks. There's an arched bridge that goes over top of the water. Then we have the A-frame cabin, fire outside there. Some people have rented out the cabin. Little fishing pond right here. There's a canoe flipped upside down. And the water continues through the entire campground. Goes right by the Lego Ideas treehouse and Grop. And also the Lego Ideas Winnie the Pooh set. And then back over there. So we've got quite a few different Lego Ideas sets right here, right? We've got the old fishing store, the lighthouse, Winnie the Pooh, the treehouse, and then the A-frame. And this whole area has been custom landscaped and mills plated. It's hard to see, but the A-frame cabin is actually higher up. I think it's 3 bricks tall compared to the rest. It's just hard to see because there's so many trees that were all custom built in this area as well. You've got the trail for the campground here. And all sorts of campers having a great time. All sorts of stories in here as well. Like this guy getting some massive air. Couple cabins right there. And then you're going to notice a little Easter egg right here. It's actually the only non-mills plated plate in the entire city. That is a standard base plate right there. Why? I don't know. I've just left it there as an Easter egg, I guess. That's what I'm going to say. And then we've got Simon's house up on the hill here. And the skate park where you can see Bart Simpson getting some rad air there on the half pipe. And a parking lot that services the 1950s diner. I was glad that I was able to take this set, mills plate it, make it look a little bit more complete with the addition of the parking lot and a bunch of vintage cars and also ice cream truck and also the Slurpee truck there. And then we've got this nice hill as well that's part of the campground. And on top of the hill is Simon's house. And Simon is the employee that works for me, and he helps me in the Lego room here. And there he is, enjoying the view. He's got a spectacular view, doesn't he? Got these little mini modular buildings that I've doubled up using 2 sets and some additional parts from my inventory. Now, one thing I forgot to do, and I've been meaning to do, is actually change up the tiling in front of them. So in front of the noodle shop, it's dark red, and in front of the toy shop, it's dark blue. I want to carry that over to the other ones, just because the gray is sort of boring, and to get that pop of color there in front would be nice. I have been meaning to change this tile color on the boardwalk. I probably have enough reddish brown tiles to make it wood now, but I don't really mind the dark gray and dark tan, but maybe it's just a little bit too dark because we've got a lot of dark tan over here, so I wouldn't mind changing up that dark tan at least, right? Just because there's so much dark tan on the beach already, so it would be nice to change that up. Behind these buildings, we've got 2 of the largest houses in the Lego City. So we've got the McAllister's house and also the Simpsons house. And those have actually been fully mills plated. So they're sort of changed up from the original just to accommodate them better in the city. They're absolutely massive. I think it's 2x2 base plates. So each one is 4 base plates. So those 2 houses alone take up 8 base plates, which sort of gives you a sense of the size of this city. So you've got a huge bust happening over here, and beside the Simpsons house, there is a little sidewalk that leads to the other section of the residential area, where we have a whole bunch of different houses, the apple tree house, the modern family home, the townhouse, also Fort Privet Drive, with the Dursleys, Harry and Ron, and then on the other side, there's the Creator 3-in-1 houses with the red roofs. These are just so nice. I love these old school houses. They're just so much more complete than some of the newer houses that are coming out today. And this one here is the Hillside house. Yeah, just a beauty of a set. And that's beside the Botanical Garden, which is a Lego Friends set. I took 2 of them. I used some instructions from rebrookable.com to supersize it. And then I completely customized it with its own mills plate. So you can see there's a nice walking path going through the gardens there. Those quarter round tiles came from the pad wall. It's just a gem find on the pad wall, that's for sure. And that's right by the farm. The farm might be a bit dated, but I really do like it. Some people have suggested that I move the farm, but I really like it in this position here. It is quite large, and I just think it makes sense to have here. So it's got a custom barn, and then all sorts of crops there. Also a little tractor. There's some pigs and some animals right there. A little chicken coop as well. And then there's a walking trail. Oh, sorry, there's another section of the farm right here, which is actually a pumpkin patch, and then a walking trail through here, which will connect to the sidewalk over there where there's a little arched bridge. And that's how you can access the Venetian houses and also the school from the train station, which is actually built right into this platform covering. And you can actually see the bottom of it right there. There's the stairs that lead up to the raised section of the train station built into that platform covering. And then of course up top here, there is the Mountain View Observatory on this massive custom mountain. Now something that's pretty neat about the water here is you'll see it on the raised platform. It actually comes down there and then comes through here and connects to the creek there. But there's also some more water that's coming out of the bottom of the Mountain View Observatory, and that's coming down that mountain and connecting to the same creek, which then actually flows underneath this bridge and connects to the canals of the Venetian houses. So there's a whole bunch of connected water that pretty much starts way over there where we were before, comes all the way through, and then sort of comes here and goes all the way up here and all the way down there. So it's a huge water system in the Lego City, and it seems like we just breezed right past one of the main attractions here in the Lego City, which is the zoo. So I would consider the zoo to be one of my greatest custom creations. I absolutely love the zoo. We've got the entrance right there. Come in, go over a little fish pond, really nicely tiled off in earth blue or dark blue and shield tiles, and we have the aquarium. You've got some polar bears, penguins, seals, huge fish tank in there, and there's also dolphins inside. This has a nice skylight, so you can sort of see in there. There's the dolphins. To the right of that, we have the aviary. There's a massive glass aviary, tons of birds in there, tons of trees. It's built right into the mountain edge of the Mountain View Observatory. And you actually see some more water coming out of the mountain there, and that actually feeds into the water in the aviary. Little concession stand right here. A nice seating spot, all nicely tiled off with the ingot tiles. And then right here we have bears. There's a bear den right there with a tree on top. Some water in there as well. Bear and her cubs. And then we changed up the tiles. This matches the tiles in the on the boardwalk there by the beach. And that's right by the panthers. Or just panther, just one old retired panther hanging out. Once again, has a nice den and a tree that he can chill on. He's jumping up onto it right now. And this like really neat like viewing wall that's curved. It's got custom signage as well all over the zoo. But this is curved with the window panels and then also some rock, which is built using some slopes. So pretty cool little snot technique to build that. And there's actually one like that over here too in the bear exhibit as well. I really want to build more mountains like that. It just takes a heap of parts. Most of my mountains are constructed using the rock panels and then a whole bunch of slopes. These ones use a whole bunch of snot bricks, and it is actually a crazy technique that I want to try more of in the future, but for now I'm happy with the current mountains. So right here we have Africa, so there's ostriches, giraffe, and also elephant just hanging out there. And then we've got crocodiles, and next to that we've got lions and a confused tiger club. And then monkeys right here. They've got a really neat tower. They're hanging out with some bananas. That's the chimpanzees. And then a monkey's climbing up there. All sorts of jungle gyms and good times being had in there. And there's also a little den right down there as well. Now that I think about it, this actually used to be surrounded by palm leaves. I used them for my palm trees, and then I never put them back once my order arrived. I completely forgot about that. So pardon me. There used to be palm leaves all around this fence here. And those are missing, and that's devastating. I should probably put those back. In the middle here, we've got pandas, and then people can walk around up here, or they can also go into the viewing tunnels down there. And there's actually an entrance to the viewing tunnel right there, just underneath that. And then there's the ramp going up to the elevated viewing area. And then you can grab a hot dog back there and check out the monkeys. Pretty cool slanted roof on that there. So there's a brief overview of the zoo. Pretty neat, pretty happy with this. There's one thing that I forgot to talk about, and that is the mouth souvenir stand right there. The panther mouth souvenir stand. Yeah, I like this. It definitely needs its palm leaves back though. That's not good. It was like the lime palm leaves all around the exterior. Definitely need to bring those back. So yeah, that pretty much covers this section of the Lego City. Like that's the residential area, the beach, the campground, mountains, and zoo. So quite a bit happening in this sort of small section of the city. Developing this raised platform was a huge project. Just so much custom like landscaping and just so many parts went into it. It was actually crazy. We've got 8 studs right there and some trees behind it. You can see there's actually a hill that goes behind all this stuff to try and add some depth to the model. Then we've got a custom little shack right here, which services the airstrip. We've got a plane taking off, a wood cache there, propane bullet, windsock, and a wind generator back there. All sorts of trees, and also the forest hideout right there. And there's the continuation of the creek. So the theory is people can take the train, get off the train there, and then walk up here and go on the trail all the way along here to access all of the medieval stuff up top here. There's also one other train station which is sort of hidden right now. It's down here. Inside there's a custom Starbucks and everything else you expect to find in a train station, and that actually services the ground line. So this was like a huge project, getting the raised platform fully developed. It took a long time, specifically building these massive plates. For example, the Lion Knight's castle sits on a custom plate that has a moat and the creek running down by the water wheel there, the trail that goes over the creek and leads up to the front gate of that. And then as we continue down the way there is the medieval jousting, which has been slightly modified. So this is actually the medieval jousting set there. So the addition of the concession stand and also the addition of the stands over here were added to the set, and then also the jousting ring as well. This guy's supposed to be on the trail. He's not supposed to be jousting. He's supposed to be with those guys. And then there's a huge addition to the Lion Knight's castle as well, which is the dungeon below. So there's all sorts of jail cells in there and all sorts of sort of gruesome details within as well. It's sort of hard to see. I do want to add lights. What I should do is grab an Amazon strip light and run it the full length of this platform, so then whatever's underneath there, like the train stations and all that, would be lit up. Also, it would provide some light to these tunnels so you can actually see the trains pass through. Other things on the raised platform, we've got a custom horse stable right here and a little pond. And then there is the medieval blacksmith beside Hocus Pocus. Something I really wanted to work with on the raised platform is rolling green hills. So you can see like everything has a different elevation. It sort of starts up there and then it goes flat, then it comes up, then it goes down a little bit, then it goes up a little bit, and then up again, and then down by Hocus Pocus, by the Sanderson Sisters cottage. So I really wanted to work on rolling green hills, and the neat thing about these builds is everything is modular. Like I could move this chunk, I could move the airstrip chunk, and I could move this here is one big piece that can be removed, and same with all of these. So it's all mills plated in the sense that it is modular and actually can be removed. And then you'll also notice a little Easter egg right there. There's Groot amongst all the dead trees below the cottage on top of the train tunnel. So we're going to talk about the amusement park in one moment, but first I want to make my way through the downtown core. So we're going to start right here at the train station, why not? This is a custom train station that services both the ground line and also the raised line. It's got the glass covering, also an elevator, some ramps right there, and then just two pillars right there. There's also heating vents on top of the pillars and lights, and also vending machines and newspaper stands. So a pretty cool little custom train station. And actually the train station is supposed to be a bus station as well. I just pulled the bus stop out because I'm looking to make more of them. It's right over here on my desk, but that should be right there because this is actually a bus pull-in. I need to make more of these and pop them all throughout the Lego City because it is something that is currently missing from my Lego City, is more bus stops. And I also need to make more traffic lights. I haven't done that yet. Like I need to make different ones. So we've got the downtown core, one-way roads going through, and all sorts of modular buildings here. So we've got the Grand Emporium, the Palace Cinema, the Disney Costume Shop, Sesame Street on this block. And then we have the Town Hall. This is a little half base plate corner building. Same with this one here. And then the Brick Bank. The Brick Bank I eventually want to add another level to. I might try and part it out on rebrickable.com because the Brick Bank's super expensive, but I wouldn't mind adding another floor to it because I think that would be super cool. Just need to get more of those sand green windows and white textured bricks, and it shouldn't be too hard to add another floor to that, to be honest. And then around the corner, we've got the corner garage. And you know what? I want to do something with my town hall as well. I actually want to get rid of these. And I want to order more of the dark orange parts, which are fairly expensive. But the white windows and everything should be easy enough to get. But what I want to do is turn my town hall into a two base plate modular building and actually make it a double corner. So it wraps around this block. I just think it would be a lot more predominant if it was like that and look a lot more complete. And I also would want to add another floor to it. That would be a super fun project. I haven't really done anything to Town Hall. I'm into modifying modular buildings. I've been doing a lot of that recently. And I think making those changes to Town Hall would be super cool because then it would be the same height as the corner garage, which sort of towers over it and towers over a lot of the modular buildings. And it'd be cool if Town Hall was just a little bit larger. And then if the Brick Bank was taller, once again, I think that would be pretty neat. So I've been modifying a lot of modular buildings. There's the double police station. So rather than the main police station part of it being like a half base plate, it's a full base plate. And then I changed the sand green section of it to a half base plate, and it's known as City Press. And then on the other side, there is a cafe, which used to be like a small sliver of the building, but it was expanded to a half base plate as well. Speaking of doubling things up, I have the double Daily Bugle there, which is surrounded by crazy minifigures and stories. You'll notice there's stories being told all throughout the Lego city. I'm not going to go into depth on all of those because that would be a lot. But yeah, we've got the double Daily Bugle there. And then a custom skyscraper, which is going to be like a technology center at some point. Right now, there is no interior details. I believe eventually there will be interior details like that one. I really like its design, and I think it deserves interior details. Then, of course, we've got the Ghostbusters HQ and the Sitcom Tower, or Sitcomplex. Can't quite remember the name of it. This was done by Brick Artisan. It's got Friends in there and also Big Bang Theory, and then Thor's New Asgard on top as well. This is a custom skyscraper. This one here doesn't have any interior details or any interior floors for that matter. I don't think it ever will because I don't think it needs it. It's got the blue windows, so you can't really tell that there's nothing in that building, and I think it's a nice structure just to add some nice height to the Lego city. But for sure, that black and white one, I would love to add some more floors to it. The Imagination Station that I built, that's that weird spiral skyscraper, that probably will get parted out eventually. I just had a bunch of spare parts and I wanted to use them and I wanted to build something cool. But that one will probably get parted out. I'm not in love with it, and I don't think anyone is in love with it. But I soon plan on developing the hospital. That's going to have a full interior and maybe one more floor, but I actually sort of like the size of it. I think it sort of matches what's going on here in the city, like height-wise. It's not overpowering, and I really like the design of it. So I think once you get the interior of that done and get that elevator shaft ran through the entire building, I'm going to be pretty happy with it, and it'll sort of stay in this position. However, I do need to swap out some of the green plate. Then we've got the Quickie Mart here. This is on the front of the residential buildings, and it's fully mills plated with a custom parking lot. I would like to custom build this parking lot so that it matches this one with the bricks laid on its side, just because you can get those authentic lines. But for now, it's just built using tiles because I don't have enough dark gray brick. But eventually, I wouldn't mind customizing that parking lot there. The double sanctum is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I used 2 Sanctum Sanctorums to create that, and it's just a beast. And that sits just around the corner from the construction site, and also right beside another double building, which is the bookshop. So I used 2 bookshops to create that, and that's right beside one of the best modular buildings, which is the Parisian restaurant. And then beside the Daily Bugle, right there, is actually a custom Peter Parker's apartment, which actually came from the Sanctum Sanctorum Showdown set. I had 2 of those at one point out of my own custom Sanctum Sanctorum, but I also had the parts to do my own Peter Parker's apartment. There's all sorts of interior details in there, which look pretty cool. We got the fire brigade, detective's office, and also my triple boutique hotel. I built that using the parts from 3 boutique hotels, and it is a double corner, and that's right across from the Bricklink Designer Program Studgate train station. So yeah, this front area here, I really like the look of it. It's really neat. I haven't had a layout like this in a long time, where you have like different blocks and buildings moving in different directions, so you can get really cool views like that when you come down the street. I classically would just have my blocks in long lines, but I decided to do it this way just because I think it's sort of something different, and I really like the outcome of it. Like my modular buildings used to be over there in big long lines, and then residential buildings were stuck over there, and you never really saw the McAllister's house or the Simpsons house or all those other residential buildings. But now I think with this layout you get a really good visual of everything. But with that said, you've got to be standing in the right position to see the modular buildings. If you're standing by the world map, then you're not going to see like these buildings. These ones are going to get parted out. I love this construction site. This one will most likely get parted out relatively soon. I don't know. It hasn't been like the most loved building, I'll say that. Then we've got this Sigfig complex, which is a nice build. And then the Avengers Tower, which will likely get parted out if Lego makes a massive Avengers Tower set. If they do, depending on what it looks like, I'll probably buy 2 of them and do what I did with my Daily Bugle. Probably double it. I think that would be super neat. There's another modified 3-in-1 set right here. used a whack of parts from my own inventory to make this. It's a pet shop, cafe, and townhouse. And then there is a custom Lego store right here. This needs to be doubled up, or tripled up for that matter. And then we've got the triple boutique hotel. Got to build the parking lot for the Bricklink Designer Program bowling alley, but it's actually increased in size already. This thing actually only used to be this tall, but I added a whole nother floor based on the rebrickable instructions done by Brick Artisan. And then there's Diagon Alleys. So yeah, that looks pretty neat. Little hidden gem here in the city. And there are some custom facades that block the backside of Diagon Alley. It's an open back, so you've got Full House, 101 Dalmatians, and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Dino's Exhibition right there. Massive rebrickable model. And the pet shop, which is a double pet shop. And then on the end of the street, we've got the double jazz club. It's actually technically not double. It is 1.5 base plates, whereas the original was 1 base plate. Just looks a little more substantial, right? I think that was pretty cool. I was pretty excited about making that one there. And then there's the bakery, which Jose built. It's a half base plate bakery. And Assembly Square. And across the street from that is the Spring Lantern Festival. This is the downtown diner beside the custom corner Octane gas station. And then there is the university right here, which is an alt build of that set way over there. Oh, can't get it. There we go. The Hogwarts Castle. So it's an alt build of that. And then there's the 2 sets of townhouses. This is the pet store townhouses, the dark red and brown ones, and then the turquoise and dark blue ones are the townhouses from the Birch Bookshop, or the Bookshop Modular Building. And also, I forgot to point out the custom facades that cover up the backside of this side of Diagon Alley, which is 12 Grimald Place. So far, so good, right? Lots to cover. I can't believe how much Lego is jammed into this space here. It's a pretty big space, though, I will admit. So we've got to cover the amusement park as well. Amusement park is not done yet. I need to add some custom modular buildings. I know I've been talking about those for so long. I've got to replace those with some custom modulars. Also some custom food stands, similar to the ones that you saw in the zoo or anything like that. It shouldn't be overly difficult to make. And then I also have to just add minifigures to it and also power up all the rides. I've got one ride that's powered up right now. This is the Ferris wheel. I've just got this one on an IR remote / IR receiver so I can control the speed of it. And the receiver / battery box is actually concealed in this little maintenance shack that I made, or maintenance building. And it's pretty neat because I just push down here and that's going to fire up the battery box, which is concealed in there. I was really happy about that. I thought that was pretty cool. And that sits in front of the double Disney Castle, which is on its own massive plate. It's got the water, which is tiled off and plated off just like the water found on my beach over there. Some nice palm trees on either side. Some characters that are ready for the park to open. And then there is a large masonry wall that runs the whole side of the amusement park. And then where there isn't a masonry wall, there's these bushes that I made, or hedges I should say, that I made using the 1x4 like limb or leaf elements, which looks super cool. Those go around the train track. And you can also see more of those over there on this side of the train station, right by the mixer, which I can also turn on. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's hitting a palm tree. I wouldn't want to be on that. Just getting smashed into a palm tree. Yeah, but I built this custom mixer stand as well. So you've got the stairs going up to the mixer so you can board the ride, and then underneath is the washroom. I thought that was a clever way to conceal the washroom. And the platform is built using all sorts of snot bricks. And it's got the red, yellow, and blue colors to match the colors of the mixer. Yeah, and then we've got our hedges all along here. Some palm trees throughout the park. There we've got the loop coaster. That masonry wall that continues all the way along behind the carousel and all the way up to the Haunted Mansion, which sort of matches the, well, not sort of, it does match the color of the masonry wall. This is fully mills plated now. Everything is tiled off with the sand blue 1x1 tiles and the 2x2 light gray tiles. Everything is its own entity, which can be removed, which is a pleasure to work with. You know, like it's a lot of work and a lot of parts, but it's pretty amazing. All I have to do is go through and put minifigures in here though. Just put minifigures everywhere, and also character meet and greets, and then I need to put like food stands there and here. And wherever there's room, maybe a food stand there, and souvenir stands as well. Maybe one there, one here. Just sort of fill this whole place up, because here we have the roller coaster. It's got the palm trees, and then a food vendor over there, the entrance for the roller coaster. This tiling has to be redone to match that tiling, or maybe it's nice that it's done differently. It's nicely fenced off, and the fence colors actually match the roller coaster itself, so I'm really happy with that design. Then there's the haunted house. Yeah, man, the amusement park looks pretty sweet. Like, I'm really happy with it. I love this double Disney castle. The way that it's like double-sided, so it just looks more complete. If it wasn't the double Disney castle, this would be like open. Wouldn't be a huge fan of that. So it wouldn't look too good unless it's up against the wall like it used to be. Yeah, amusement park is coming along beautifully though. Pretty sweet. Just gotta finish building it, I guess. So ever since I started collecting Lego in 2015, I knew that I wanted to build a Lego city. It all started with a modular building known as the detective's office. So that's what started it for me. It's come a long way. I've definitely put like a ton of work into it, and a ton of money and just labor in general. And it's changed like a lot throughout the years. I think the biggest change for me was mills plating it. That was just substantial. It took a lot of resources and once again, a lot of time, but it is worth it in the end. It is absolutely fantastic. I love trains. I've got a huge ballast train line system, so all the tracks are ballast, which is nice. We also have the custom raised line, which has these. This is just regular train track. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of talking. Rain track. This is just regular train track that has underlying plate, and then it's all tiled off, and I built these custom supports for it using the inverted arches and arches, and then it's all plated off and attached to the underside of the tiled off train track. That was pretty neat. I really enjoyed doing that. I also really enjoy custom landscaping. I didn't even talk about this area there, but I really enjoyed that style of stuff. I also really like taking regular Lego sets and making them better. Like these ones here are all better. All of those modular buildings that I covered throughout as well. And then all of the custom mills plates for like the Quickie Marts and the McAllister's house and the Simpsons house, and just doing all of this stuff on the back platform there, and the custom creations in the zoo and sort of throughout the entire city. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun as well. There's been a lot of learning involved, and I really just enjoy it. I don't really want to downsize my Lego. I'm always looking to add more to it and do some cool stuff. My next project is the Winter Village. I've been talking about that for quite some time, and I really look forward to making a new and improved Winter Village. The old one is, you know where it is. It's down there. So we've got the Winter Village down there. Another massive custom creation that's currently not on display is the mansion, and that's currently on display right down there. But yeah, I want to just grow as a builder and sort of continue doing cool stuff like this and always just change. But this city seems like it's the best it's ever been, in my opinion. I think I did a pretty good overview here today. I think we covered a lot. Did we cover it all? Probably not, because I didn't do any of the minifig stories or vehicles found throughout the entire city. But I think we covered quite a bit, and I'm pretty excited about the city as of September 2023. How cool is that? Hey, we've got trains, vehicles, minifigures, rides operating, almost a fully operational amusement park, a downtown core, a zoo, a residential area, a beach, absolutely everything it would seem. Only thing we don't have, I guess, is an airport and a train yard, which I want to do, but I just don't have the space. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed my overview here. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Farewell.